Good evening. Day 10, put yourself into a better place. I'm Robert Gibbons. And I thought tonight that it would be great to share from a company of friends and to really witness this moment in history. And this is the reason I do this. I do this because I do this. And it is such a pleasure and honor to be able to read from my friends' work. And tonight, I am doing just that. I am living my dream. And so, as always, I honor my mother Dorothy, my father Robert, my grandmothers Versi and Maddie, my grandfathers Jethro and Sammy Ashe. I will start off with the inspiration that brought me to New York City. And he is my muse, none other than Langston Hughes. I want to read a few paragraphs from his memoir, The Big C. The Big C, Beyond Sandy Hook, by Langston Hughes. Melodramatic may be, it seems to me now, but then it was like throwing a million bricks out of my heart when I threw the books into the water. I leaned over the rail, the SS Malone, and threw the books as far as I could out into the sea. All the books I had at Columbia, and all the books I had lately brought to read. The books went down into the moving water in the dark off Sandy Hook. Then I straightened up, turned my face to the wind, and took a deep breath. I was a seaman, going to sea for the first time, a seaman on a big merchant ship, and I felt that nothing would ever happen to me again that I didn't want to happen. I felt grown, a man inside and out, 21. I was just 21. And that title is called Beyond Sandy Hook, from the memoir of Langston Hughes, The Big C. Thank you, Langston, for blessing us. As I stated, we are witnessing a moment in our history of exile and also shut-in. So it gives you a chance to really reflect on many things. And I've been reading from a company of friends that really have inspired me. I've taken workshops with some of them. I have witnessed their evolution, and it's such a pleasure to read from their work. So tonight, I pulled a great friend of mine by the name of Patrick Hammer Jr., and from his book called Bronx Local by Patrick Hammer Jr. And the title of his poem is called Flat. Nana's bathroom smells of Dove soap. The frosted windows above the cast iron claw-footed tub opens an inch. The stale back alley air, muffled, mysterious, filled with mechanical sounds, drift in. The kitchen has treasures to explore. Nana's red formica table has a metal ring underneath. I pull on it often, hoping a hidden chamber will open. Here's the sealed-off dumbwaiter, forbidden as a pharaoh's tomb. Here are the red and white dishes with the Chinese patterns of footbridges and willows that I want to cross and climb. Here, the red rotary phone on the wall, the Kelvinator fridge with the beige radio atop. That's the size of a loaf that takes minutes to warm up and then blasts the news. Here's the double sink, the stove, the spot where Nana always seems to be. Down this railroad flat, on the right, the living room bathed in mellow torch lamp light. A fake log burning fire crackles in a fake grate. The mantle of the fireplace held up by two hard-working, grimacing gargoyles. Here, among the bric-a-brac framed school photos of me collared and dress-shirted and blue-suited in a butterfly tie, a paisley clip-on, me in all white, hands in prayer, holding a missal, rosary, making my first communion, completing the room, the Grandage console, radio, and turntable that Nana says came from a place called Radio Row. Out of this room, I turn right again, walk along the white and gold speckled wall into my grandparents' room, its two large windows looking out east to the tower of Fordham's Keating Hall. Here, more of Nana's treasures, white bedspreads with floral brocades and bottles of bluegrass, and here silver comb and brush set, the black multi-tiered Japanese jewelry box, all displayed on her vanity mirror. My final destination, the spare room, the back room, my room, this room, straight out through Nana's room, full of armoires and hat boxes and shoe racks and clothes from another season in opaque plastic bags. I stand at the single small window, listening to night now, after my journey here, to other adventures in lawn chairs, 3 floors below, in a circle, telling non-suburban tales, their laughter drifting up to me from this building's front stoop. Thank you. This poem is called Flat, from Bronx Local, by my friend Patrick Hammer Jr. Thank you, Patrick, for blessing us. Again, we're living in a company of friends tonight. My next chapbook is called Last Call, from my friend David Elsasser. And I've known David for a very long time, and it's such a pleasure to read from his book, Last Call by David Elsasser. Ghosts by David Elsasser. It is truth spared from youth, like mortality. In fact, a corollary. There are no ghosts, we tell them. Only palets shift from red and blue to white. Only empty wind-rocked chairs squeaking. Only clear windows quickly clouded over. But time teaches us better, of course. There are ghosts. No, not clanking chains, not handheld heads, not squishy ectoplasms, slimy disbelievers, but plain, if less dramatic signs everywhere. Their daughter arranges flowers with grandpa's hand. Their nephew displays great-uncle's forgotten mannerisms. What? These aren't ghosts? Aren't even frightening, you say? Wait till you see dads stare from morning mirror, heard mom's admonishment leave your lips. Give it time. They'll feel all your haunts. Family will spot you in the now unborn someday, winding your way down to deliver a new day. Thank you, David. David Elsasser, Last Call. Thank you for blessing us, David. Last book. I don't know him, but I do engage with his work. He was a poet laureate. He's written for the New York Review of Books. He is a well-known poet, and that's the poet Charles Simic. And I'm reading from Charles Simic's book, Gods and Devils. And it'll be my last poem for tonight. Thank you so much. The title of Charles Simic's poem is called North, from his book, Gods and Devils. North. The ancients knew the sorrow of exile. If you weren't hanged, they'd pack you off to the far ends of the earth to go on grumbling, writing endless petitions that would never reach the emperor. The North, always the place of punishment, unforgiving cold rags on your back and the company of a few sullen barbarians at day's end when the wind parts the clouds and the stars seem to be mocking. Every few years, a garbled message from home, memory paying a call in the wee hours, a mother's face, the company of merry friends at the long table in the garden, their wives baring their throats in the afternoon heat. The sages suffered too, exile from the truth. That's what you tell yourself. Not many are meant to retrace their steps and behold the splendors of the capital, even more seductive than when you knew them. The North, always the place of punishment, deep snow, blue-veined trees and bushes rising against the pink-colored morning sky, so that briefly, in that one spell, your heartache hushes at the beauty of it. And that poem is called The North, from Charles Simic, Gods and Devils. Tonight, it's been a wonderful reading. I started off with my muse, Langston Hughes, from his memoir, The Big C. And then I read from my good friend, Patrick Hammer Jr., Bronx local. Then Last Call from my friend, David Elsasser. And I ended it with Poet Laureate, Charles Simic. I hope that you're thriving. I hope that you are moving in your dreams and realizing the glory that you will become. Day 10, I'm Robert Gibbons. Put yourself into a better place. Thank you for being in my virtual company.